Let me add myself to the end. I did all that stuff. Let's do it again. Hey, what up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up Podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Kirsty. On today's show, we're going to look at the hiring of David Shaw as the new passing game coordinator for the Lions. But do us a quick favor. Like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and we're currently at 2,677. And if you want to become a little bit more support to the channel, go ahead and become a member. And if you're new to the channel, you don't know how our show works. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on, and we give our take on why we agree or disagree. For the live shows, we do it a little differently on the live shows. I want you to put hashtag bossed up in the comments or the chat. And the same thing, if disagree, hashtag bought on. Tell me why. We'll put it on the screen and we will talk about it together. No hot takes here on our recorded show or on our live show. Man, we want to give our true thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Let's see who's in the chat this morning. My man, Landon Vetter, what's going on? What up, though? What's going on, my man? Rob Kendall was up. Candell says, what up, bosses? What's going on? Who could do? What up, though, my guy? What's going on, Landon Vetter? Hey, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. I got a rocket today, and I'll tell you why. So come up later on the show. I'm going to tell you why I'm wearing this thing this morning, man, because, got to support somebody for what they did yesterday. All right, Lady Lion's in the building. What up, though, Lady Lion? Oh, my goodness. Bo Booth is in the building. What's going on, Bo Booth, man? Hey, and then we got my man, Rob Candell, saying double up the likes and comments. We really appreciate that right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. Let's get into what we're going to talk about for today's show. You seen the thumbnail, man. David Shaw is the new Detroit Lions passing game coordinator. But I want to kind of get into that. I'm going to break this down kind of like segments of the show, what we're going to talk about with him this morning. All right. So first of all, we got to look at why the Lions hired David Shaw, because reports are that Taylor Enstrand is headed to the New York Jets as the offensive coordinator. The Lions are taking their proactive steps because they don't want to just be hanging on to Taylor Enstrand's, what he's going to do. So they're going to prepare for that. So they go ahead and hire David Shaw. We all know Enstrand's probably going to be taking over the offensive coordinator job in New York. And that's according to Tom Pelissero. The Lions brought in David Shaw, man. I mean, this hire is just awesome. I'm looking at this hire and I'm like, man, you go from one guy, Taylor Enstrand, that's an up and coming, to a guy who's pretty much already established. I mean, we all know what he did out there in Stanford, and then he's out there with the Denver Broncos, being a senior personnel executive out there. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of this hire. I really like David Shaw as a coach. And like I said, you take somebody who Taylor Enstrand was I can't say he's not a good passing game coordinator, because you look at our passing game over the last few years, it's been phenomenal. But a guy that is established with the coaching pedigree of a David Shaw, man, I'm loving this hire. And it just kind of goes back to like, people were in a panic when we started losing coaches to other organizations. And what did Dan Campbell do? He just went in and brought some experienced guys to the roster. I mean, to the coaching staff. You look at, you bringing in AC, and then you're bringing in Morton, and now you're bringing in David Shaw. Man, these guys are established names in the NFL coaching staff circles. So I'm liking this. Let's see who else is in the chat. Man, long time no see. I would like to welcome Broski Bear to the chat. Broski, what's going on, man? Long time no see. It's the off season, man. So welcome there, Broski. Landon new episode of Michigan Panther Pride. Hey, we're getting closer and closer to that UFL season, man. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out, man. And you know who it is. It's the Doctor Detroit. He is always in. He's got a question for Broski Bear said, how are those 4-13 Bears doing? You guys are the off-season winner. Congrats. Henry Moore says good morning, everyone. Yeah, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Definitely. Bo Booth is in the back, and I like the new coaches. It gives it's good to have some veteran leadership on the staff. Yeah, because we kind of went from some guys that were kind of new to the coaching tree, and then you look at what they bring into as far as the leadership on the staff, some more experienced names. So I have Broski. Broski's gonna be who he is. David Shaw has coached in the NFL when he was the wide receiver coach for the Ravens. Ravens are known for the wide receiver. Stanford, an elite for catching and at least passing game. I'm shaking. Broski Bear, man. You're always gonna have your opinion. I don't know why you think that the Bears will have so much better team than the Lions, but back-to-back division champions and back-to-back basement visits for the Bears. It is what it is. Lauren Van, yeah, but Broski's allowed to have his opinion. Morning boss up all one pride, of course, one pride, Mocker. Thank you, Broski. I haven't seen you in a while, man. How you doing? How's that life treating you, man? I always give Broski his, his respect and his due as a patron of the show. We just don't agree all the ways on what he's saying, but who does? Yeah, man. Never mind. Yes. Rob says Chicago has a good piece in Euros. That's it. Man, I saw their press box and what they had for like sodas for the it was like RC Cola, Diet RC Cola, and like something else, and it was like very, very bottom of the barrel for the spending for the staff. If that's how they treat if they're treating their players like that and their staff like that and the media like that, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I wonder what they're doing with the rest of that money that they're getting in Chicago. So I don't know. All right. So the next part I want to talk about with David Shaw's hire is his background with New Lions offensive coordinator John Morton. So you look at this, right? And those guys have known each other for quite a while, man. David Shaw has possessed that extensive coaching background. He's been back to the day, man. 95. You gotta remember that, man. Initial forte in the NFL began in the 90s with the Raiders. And that's where he worked alongside John Morton, the current offensive coordinator. Talking about that, of course. While Morton was honing his skills as the offensive assistant in the late 90s, Shaw was the quality control coach for the Raiders out there. So both coaches eventually advanced in their careers significantly, with Shaw or that role of the quarterbacks coach in the Raiders back in 2001. So that was back when the Raiders were kind of like their last kind of Super Bowl runs back in the day. While Morton moved up to become the team's tight end coach a few years later. So you look at that, man. I'm looking at this as a win-win, because when you have coaches that are familiar with one another, their bond is already there. So you don't have to mold them into what they're doing with the as far as the coaching staff. They're kind of familiar with with one another, what their tendencies are, what they like. He kind of expects John Morton knows what he's going to get from David Shaw, and David Shaw knows what John Morton wants as an offensive coordinator. So you look at that, man. I like the fact that these guys have bonded, as in previous regimes. I like the hiring of David Shaw, man. Yeah, definitely. So, but I'm laughing at it, and I'll put this up on the screen in a second. But I like the hire of David Shaw taking over that passing game coordinator and the history he has with a guy like John Morton. So let's get back into the chat, man. It says, thanks, Kurt. Hope you're doing well. Just living in Charlotte life. I love the Carolinas, man. The weather, man, I had to agree with you. But that weather a couple of weeks ago got us, man. I was headed out on vacation, and we luckily got out in time, because we almost got snowed in. Yeah, he said, oh, he liked the Trey style. I like the Trey style pizza too. You know what I'm saying? The last time there was construction cones on the Dan Ryan, they were the same ones from when I graduated in '93. Okay, okay, all right. Lauren Ash, he's okay until he starts getting nasty insults, but lately he's been more gentleman in his comment. And you got to remember, there's two broskies running around, so we don't know who's who, and they both look the same. Yeah, Detroit Greek pizza is damn good. Yes, I agree. Hopped on my channel and talked crap about the Lions Talk Live, nip that in the. Yeah, but the weather compared to the other places, Charlotte got 0 inches of snow. Places in Florida got 8 inches. But yeah, I remember that, broski, man. We got about an inch or so up here in this area outside of Fort Liberty and Fayetteville, Spring Lake, on up to Raleigh. Caught a flight out, and I that morning that we caught the flight, man, our car got iced over. But anyway, I digress, man. What do you guys think about the connection between David Shaw and John Morton? Because I'm looking at this, man. Like I said, I think that's a really key factor in this hiring, is that the fact that he has a background with one of our coaches that's already on staff, and they both are coming over from Denver. We talked about this on Lions Talk Live here a little bit ago, where you have two coaches, two senior advisors, passing game coordinator, and an executive personnel executive on that staff coming over to Detroit together. I'm pretty sure that that's a win-win for Dan Campbell and his coaching staff, poaching those guys from his former mentors, coaching staff with Sean Payton. All right, graduated from Val Reins. No. Okay, I don't get that. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to really talk about here is the fact that David Shaw's coaching experience, right? So we kind of know, kind of gave you a snapshot here a few seconds ago, but let's kind of look at that, man. Like, he has some experience across various positions, including quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. So that kind of helps. That's our three big positions in our passing game, are those things. Of course, quarterback could throw the ball, but wide receivers and running backs, that's what we want to use, especially with a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. He's best known, we know so for being a Stanford Cardinals head coach. The Stanford Cardinal, possibly S, because it's the Stanford Cardinal, not Cardinals, from 2011 to 2021. So during that period, he got a really impressive record, man, 96-54, leading that program to 3 top 10 finishes in national rankings, earned him Coach of the Year 4 times in the Pac-12, and he guided them to a couple of Rose Bowl victories out there in the Pac-12. I'm just more and more impressed with David Shaw, as I keep, doing some more research about him. All right. So, we got a lot of people in the in the chat this morning, man. It's going crazy, man. But I lives in Bristol, Virginia. Love going down there to visit and Mount Spectacular. Yep. All right. On the defensive side, we still need to do some as elder advisor still. I believe we need. I agree with you, Bo Booth. We need a senior advisor at that on the defensive side of the ball to kind of help with Shep. I agree with that at home. Woo, coming from Coach Dan. Anyone a fan of the Michigan Panthers? Probably have 3 players interview lined up. Stay tuned. Okay, definitely. I'm a fan of the show. All right, I've always said that you are trained up in the coaching staff to take the next step, advance upwards. Yeah, and I think that's what we did with that with Calvin Shepard. I think that with the fact that you're looking at this team and what they did with Calvin Shepard and moving him up from DC from Lions backs coach. Coach Dan, oh yeah, coming from my man Bo Booth. So definitely want to do that. All right, Rob Candell says Chris Spielman was a big factor in the winning culture, includes handling turnover. You guys are going to lose guys. Yeah, I like the fact that Chris Spielman interviewed for that position out there in New York and came back. All right, Morton will have to get Shaw up to speed. The more modern NFL works This isn't the front office. This isn't the Pac-12. Worry about your own staff, broski, because you're gonna have to get some guys because you guys got a college staff. I mean, with the players that you're working with over there, and they played like a college team last year. Yeah. So with all the talent that they have, 4-13 is not a great showing for all the players that you had over there on that squad, broski. All right, my man King SJ's in the building. What's going on? What's going on, my dude? Hookadoo, Dan the man. Good luck on your game tonight. Yes, good luck to Coach Dan. All right. This guy allows continuity with a few new ideas. He helped Denver achieve success. Yes, he did. All right. The basics of the game haven't changed. It's cyclical. Yes, it is definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I'm not gonna put that last comment on the screen. All right. So the next thing you want to talk about, definitely here, looking at this definitely is the fact that David Shaw's influence on some star players, man. You look at some of the guys he coached out there at Stanford. I mean, it's just phenomenal, the guys that have success, man. Successful coaching career, working with some standout players, man. Andrew Luck. And one particular guy is Christian McCaffrey. And the reason why I want to talk about Christian McCaffrey, because you look at the skill set that he has, and it's kind of really similar to what we have in Detroit with a player like Jahmyr Gibbs. Definitely a good pass catcher out of the backfield, smaller guy, very fast, and can run between the tackles. And you look at that, that's kind of some of the similar skill set that Jahmyr Gibbs has. And he can help. Jahmyr Gibbs can even go to a higher level with a guy who coached a player like Christian McCaffrey in college, and he helped him hone his game. And you definitely can help take the game of Jahmyr Gibbs to the next level with a guy like David Shaw, man. He can help mold him into even a better running back. I mean, he's already, right there on the cusp of being an all-pro. He's been his first years has been a Pro Bowler. And you look at the numbers he put up this year, even splitting carries, he's getting up there in the area where he could be considered at the all-pro level. So definitely look at that. So hold on for 1 second. I want to bring a guy in. Hold on here. So hold on 1 second. I'll make sure I send this link in. All right. But looking at David Shaw, man, that this in the totality of this hiring, the history he has with a guy like John Morton, then this coaching pedigree, and then looking at the his development of players, man, I'm liking what this hire is of of David Shaw, man. Did my research on John Moore, liking him more and more, of course, and then of course looking at a guy that can help develop players like Jahmyr Gibbs and continue the development of Jared Goff and the receiving core. So definitely, hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself, man. I really appreciate you guys. Coach Dan, man, if you're still watching, man, the link is out there for you if you want to hop on. There he is. All right, got my man Coach Dan, man, from Lions Talk Live. What's going on, Coach Dan?
Just another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Okay, my man Avery in the building, Spirit of Detroit. What's good, my guy? And Monty Gibbs duo is just something else. Monty can say where he is. Yeah, he is. But I want to get your thoughts, man. I'm gonna give you the floor for 1 quick second, so you can kind of give my audience, because everyone's not we got some crossover, but not everyone's a Line Talk Live guy, so they don't know your take. And I'm gonna give you the screen for a couple of minutes to go ahead and talk about the of David Shaw.
Okay, so with David Shaw, I think one of the bigger things you're getting with him is just somebody, he's got a ton of experience. And if you're looking at the Lions offensive hires, at least the last week, with him and Morton, you're getting guys that have been in football for, probably over 30 years with both of them. So a lot of experience. They've seen different scenarios. They know they already have the answers for this defense, et cetera, that situation. And one of the things I like with both of them, I think you're seeing run game commitment with play action pass built in. Both guys excel at that. I know one of the things with Morton is you will see a lot of misdirection pulls, triggers and stuff with the line of scrimmage. That's why earlier today when I did a mock draft on Lions Talk Live, we talked about more mobile offensive linemen. Still powerful guys, but guys that can help aid with that. The other aspect with that is the play action pass that both coordinators are going to bring in and kind of add to that. Well, I mean, Jared Goff already does a ton of it, but I think you're going to try to use that running game to set even more of a deadly presence with play action pass, which Goff excels at. I thought the Lions maybe could have done a little bit more of that in the playoff game, and I'm not going to break down the playoff game, but I do think you're going to see the Lions put a lot more stress and pressure on opposing defenses because they already had to commit to stop the running game. I think now you're going to see it go to another level.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, man, like the video and share the video. Man, hey, if you haven't done so already, check out the membership tab. We got to do membership tab here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can put the, you want to put some avatars or whatever in the chat. You can do that as well. But want to get to one last thing from what we saw last night, because I don't know if everybody I didn't even watch last night. Mm-hmm. But the Lions showed up and showed out last night in the, let me bring it up, first night of the Pro Bowl games last night. My man JG, Jared Goff, that's why I'm wearing his jersey today. And thanks to Lauren Vander Esch for the JG jersey. My man won the quarterback competition, 44 points last night. It was very accurate. He was doing his thing. Jahmyr Gibbs on the relay kind of got a gift from the AFC, fumbled the handoff in the relay, but it wasn't going to be close. I mean, you look at Jahmyr Gibbs; he was just jogging, and he was way out ahead of the other guy. It wouldn't even if the guy would have took the handoff, he wasn't going to catch Jahmyr Gibbs. And then you look at Big Bank Frank Ragnow, man, with the spike competition, man, he was putting on a clinic out there, putting on a show. And then shout out to Brian Bratz, who took a dodgeball to the nads. I kind of felt for him, man. That clip's all over social media, going viral almost, man. Where he took he took that shot to the nads, man. I was like, oh my god, that's terrible. But you look at this, I did not want to see the Lions in the Pro Bowl games because that's mean they missed a Super Bowl. But
right.
I still like the way those guys show up and they put it on a show for the fans.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl, I think, Kurt, isn't what it once was. It's just, I don't know if we're ever going to see the amount of attention that used to be associated with it in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I guess you could even say the 90s. It's just changed. They're trying to do what they can to make it relevant, make it fun, interactive for fans and the players while making it safe. I don't personally watch it. I probably haven't watched it in a long time. I don't even know, maybe 15 years or so. But I think the NFL is at a tough spot where you don't want the players taking more punishment. You do want to make it fun. How many people actually watch this thing anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Pro Bowl kind of switched gears, and it's a player, man. God rest his soul, man. He was a joy to watch, man. But that hit that Sean Taylor put on that punter, that kind of changed the complexity of the Pro Bowl, man. They kind of went to two-hand touch after that. And I was in Hawaii during those last few years. I was stationed over there during the last few years of the Pro Bowl when it was, padded, and they were actually playing a NFL type style game. But it just wasn't the same. Like, it was pretty much touch with pads on because no one wants to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? No one. Even I think they had a relay or something happened on one of the it was an interactive games where they had something on the beach. It was like a beach football game or something. The guy blew out his knee or something like that. And it was and it's just one of those things where, I mean, sand is hard to run in. It's good for your ankles and stuff like that, but you can't. It's more of a straight line surface. It's not a cutting, you know what I'm saying? Because you kind of lose your footing. I mean, it gets grips hard, so your traction is hard, so you can't be juking on sand. You have to run straight forward. And
Right.
you try to make moves like that, you can definitely tear something. But looking at the Lions coaching staff, right? And I was talking about this earlier, Dan. I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm like, you went from some guys that were lesser known and kind of that were developed on this staff into some more experienced guys coming in, like a John Morton and a David Shaw. So what do you think about that, where they're going back to more established type names on the coaching staff?
Well, I think with Aaron Glenn himself, when he departed for the Jets, he mentioned that he'd been kind of grooming Kelvin Shepard for a few years now. It is a lot different when you're going to have to make the calls. You're going to have to make the adjustments when you're the person who's on the frying pan with the pressures of being that coordinator. He's going to go through some learning curves, although it may have been sped up a little bit. You know, he might not need as much as somebody who's just never done it before. In regards to the offensive side, I like the hires. I know not everybody will. They're not big splash names. They're not proven names to a certain degree. But both guys have coached for a lot of very good coaches. Obviously, people keep hiring them because they have faith in them. And when you look at their track records, what they typically like to do, it does fit with what I think MCDC's desire for the offense is going to be. It's just a guess on my part. Don't overreact to it. It doesn't really matter. The playoff loss a couple weeks ago, but I do think there were a couple moments in that game where MCDC was not happy about some of the play calling. I thought, it's my guess, watching him on the sidelines, especially like that, whatever it was, 3rd and 2 when we had empty backfield. If you watch him, if you see him on the 22, he's clearly not exactly thrilled with the play call there. And then the JMO pass, you watch him before the snap even takes place. He's probably getting in the headset what the call is. You see him put his hands on his knees and his head down. To me, that's a sign he knows it's probably a pretty high risk to reward, and he's not ultimately that thrilled with the play call. So I think he wants a little bit more of what he envisions for the offense.
Yeah, I believe that as well. I think that's what he hired the individuals that are coming in. They're more run oriented, you know what I'm saying, play action pass, and that's what he wants out of his staff, and that's what he wants the kind of game plan to be, you know. So hey man, tell everyone where they can find you and your content, man. You know how we do it on Fridays. It's 30 minutes or less, like the old school Dominoes. So what you got, man? Telling people where they can find you and your content there, Coach Dan.
Come on over on YouTube to Lions Talk Live. We're on basically 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to roughly 8 a.m. Join me and the Duke crew. Get on up, get your day going, and find out what's the news of the day for the Detroit Lions.
Yes, definitely. He does a great job over there, man. Catch him every day of the week, pretty much, man, doing this thing, man. He's like the post office, man. Reins, let us know you're going to get some content from Coach Dan, man. Hey, thank you for joining me today, man. Hey, I appreciate everyone. If you haven't done so already, make sure you do this. Make sure you follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Coach Jones does a great job over there at Wolverine Sports Talk. Make sure you check out Beyond the Ropes playlist. He does some boxing content. Got the big fight coming up in Flint this weekend, so make sure you check it out. I post content from this show on all of my social media platforms. And LL, man, you know he does his thing over there on his Instagram page, so make sure you check him out as well, man. Hey, thank you for starting your Friday off with us, man. And your payday, man. Make sure you pay your bills, man. Pay your rent first, man. Get that mortgage paid, man, and then have some good time for everyone, man. Hey, do your man Kurt still a favor. Whatever you do in life, you guys step boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From our special guest, Coach Dan. This is Kurt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.